Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Notes 6.2 are on the perimeter and area of composite figures. You guys have already learned how to find perimeter and area of most shapes, but we still need to figure out how to do it when we have composite figures. So first of all, we need to define what a composite figure even is. So a composite figure is just a figure that is composed of two or more shapes. Okay, so for example, if you see right here, this figure is composed of a rectangle and two triangles, so it's a composite figure because it's more than just one general shape. Okay, so how do I find the perimeter of a composite figure? You need to add up all the outside sides. So add up all the outside segments. Okay, and then to find the area, you are going to add or subtract depending on what happens, and I'll show you what I mean by that in the next couple of examples, but you're going to add or subtract the different shapes, or the areas of the different shapes, okay? So, for example, in question number 1, it says find the perimeter and the area of the composite figure shown below. Okay, so we know that this whole length is 4. Okay, we know that this whole length from top to bottom is 7 meters, and we know that this length right here, from here to here, is 1.5 meters. So I'm going to split my figure up so I can see all the different shapes that it's composed of. So if you guys see right here, it's composed of one rectangle and two equal triangles, or two triangles that are congruent to each other. And if this is 1.5, then this length right here has to be the full 7 minus 1.5, or 5.5 meters. Okay, so to find the perimeter, I need to add up all the sides. So if you guys notice right here, we have I'm going to highlight it for you guys so you can see it. We have a length of 7 right here and another length of 7 right here. We also have a length of 4 right here. And we also have these two lengths which are congruent to each other. So we need to figure out what those two lengths are. And at this point in time, we don't know what they are. So we have to calculate those values. So if you guys notice right here, because these two lengths are congruent to each other, we can conclude that this is going to be the midpoint of this full length, which is 4, which means that this piece right here is 2. So we end up getting a triangle that is a right triangle, because this has a right angle here, and this is 2 and this is 1.5. So I'm going to figure out what the C value is right here by using Pythagorean theorem. So I'm going to say 2 squared plus 1.5 squared equals C squared. Well, 2 squared is 4. 1.5 squared is going to be 2.25, okay? So we'll say that this is 2.25 equals C squared. Well, 4 plus 2.25 is 6.25, and then I'm going to square root 6.25 to solve for C, which is 2.5. So we know now that the C value right here is going to be equal to 2.5. So to figure out the perimeter, I'm going to again add up all my sides. So I have this side length of 7, okay, plus this side length of 4, plus another side length of 7, because the full thing, 5.5 plus 1.5 together is 7, and it says that they are equal to each other, plus 2 side lengths of 2.5. And I'm going to highlight it so you guys can see what I'm talking about. So right here, this side length of 7 is this side length right here. I'm going to color code it so you can see where these numbers came from. Then this side length of 4 okay? Then another side length of 7, and then two side lengths of 2.5. Okay, so then when I add it all together, I'm going to say 7 plus 4 plus 7 plus 2.5 plus another 2.5, and I get a perimeter of 23 meters. So I know here that my perimeter is equal to 23 meters. Okay, now the next thing I need to do is find the area. So let's go ahead and think about what we need to do to find the area. Now the area is going to consist of, I'm going to erase this so I don't have the highlighted pieces anymore. The area is going to consist of a rectangle right here. So I'm going to highlight this a little bit differently so I can see it. So I have a rectangle here. Okay, and then I also have two triangles, and my two triangles are the same size. Okay, so what I'm going to do right here is I'm going to say the area is the area of the rectangle plus 2 times the area of our right triangle that we have here. Okay, and remember we figured out that this is 2.5, although we don't really need that to figure out the area. Okay, because we'll just do base times height divided by 2. So the area of our rectangle is just going to be this 5.5 and not 7 because 7 is the full length, but we only want from here to here. So it's going to be 5.5 times 4. Okay, plus 2 times the area of our yellow triangles right here. And to find the area of our yellow triangles, we're going to take base, which is 2, times the height, which is 1.5, and divide that by 2. Okay, and if you guys notice, this 2 and this 2 will cancel each other out. So this ends up being 5.5 times 4, which is 22. So I'll end up getting 22 here, plus 2 times 1.5, which is 3. And then when I add them together, I find that I have an area of 25 meters squared. Okay? So one thing I just want to talk about is it's up to you how you want to split up your figure. We split it up where we actually split it up into a rectangle and two congruent triangles, but we could also split it up so that we have two congruent trapezoids. You don't have to show the work for this, but I just want you to watch this because it's really important you understand how it works either way. So here, when I do this, what ends up happening is I want to figure out, well, what's the area of this trapezoid that I have highlighted right here? Okay, and like we said, we figured out right here that this length is going to have to be 5.5 still. Okay, so to find the area, another option that I have is to simply find the area of the trapezoid first of all. So we'll find the area of the trapezoid, and the formula is A plus B, so we're going to use the formula that we have right here. So it's going to be A plus B, the two bases, times the height divided by 2. Okay, so I'm going to say A plus B times the height divided by 2. So here, my A is 7, my B is 5.5, and the height right here is half of this full length, or 2. Okay, so I'm going to say that it's equal to 7 plus 5.5 times the height divided by 2. And when I do 7 times 5.5, I get 12.5. Multiply that by 2 and then divide by 2. I don't really have to do that because those are going to cancel each other out. And we get an area of 12.5. But that's the area of the trapezoid. There are two equal trapezoids, so the full area would be 12.5 doubled, or 25 square meters. Okay? Right, question number 2. A hotel is remodeling its outdoor entrance area. The new design includes a tile walkway leading to a semicircular fountain. Calculate the area and perimeter of the walkway. So let's do the area first. So to find the area, if you guys notice this time, it wouldn't make sense to add figures together. It would make more sense to subtract them. So if you notice, we have a rectangle, okay? But part of the rectangle is missing, and the part that's missing is a semicircle right here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to find the area of the rectangle first, and then I'm going to subtract the area of the semicircle, okay? So to find the area of the rectangle, I would just do base times height. So I would do 2.1 times 5.2. And then to find the area of a semicircle, I know that the area of a circle is pi r squared, sorry. So the area of the semicircle would be pi r squared divided by 2. Okay, and sorry, I'm going to just move this over so that way I still have some room to do my perimeter. Okay, so right here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say pi times the radius, which is half of this full length right here. If this diameter is 2.1, then the radius has to be half of that, or I could just say it's 1.05. So here I'm going to say 1 pi times 1.05 squared divided by 2. Okay, so I'm going to pick up my calculator and do some calculating here. So 2.1 times 5.2 would end up giving me 10.92. So I'm going to write down 10.92 minus, now here I want to square this 1.5, so figure out what 1.05, figure out what 1.05 squared is, and then divide that by 2, and I get 0.55125 pi. So I end up getting 0.55125 pi. And this is my exact answer. Let's calculate what it is, and we'll round it to the nearest tenth, okay? So I'm going to take 10.92, and I'm going to subtract 0.55125 times pi, and I end up getting about 9.2, okay? So the area here is 9.2 meters squared, okay? All right, so now to find the perimeter, I need to add up all the different pieces that make this figure right here, okay? And I'm going to erase that green line on top because that's not part of the outside perimeter, okay? So to find this outside perimeter, I'm actually going to erase all of my highlighting things so you can see what I'm talking about here. So to find my outside perimeter, I will have a side length here of 5.2 and another side length here of 5.2. I'll have a side length here of 2.1, and then I'll also have the circumference of half of a circle, okay? Because remember, circumference is it is finding the perimeter of a circle. So if you guys remember, circumference is pi d, okay? So the circumference of the half circle would be pi d divided by 2. Okay, so let's fill in this information right here. What this is going to end up being is I end up getting the perimeter is equal to my yellow side right here, which is 5.2, plus this green side, which is 2.1, plus another yellow side, which is 5.2. And if you want to do this shorter, you can just say 2 times 5.2, okay, plus the semicircle's circumference. So I'm going to say pi times the diameter, which is 2.1 divided by 2. Okay? So again, it's going to be your yellow segment plus the green segment that we have right here, okay, plus another yellow segment plus this pink part right here, this pink semicircle here, okay? So when I calculate all of this information here, I just want to simplify this piece right here, which actually we'll do that in a minute. So let's go ahead and add these guys together. So this becomes 5.2 plus 2.1 plus 5.2, and I get 12.5. Okay, so we end up getting this 12.5 that we got right here, plus 2.1 divided by 2 times pi. So I'm going to say 2.1 and divide that by 2. We already figured out it's 1.05. So this is 1.05 pi. And that's my exact answer. I can't put these together because they're not like terms. And I couldn't put these together because they're not like terms. So I end up getting my perimeter right here is equal to, so now when I add it together, 12.5 plus 1.05 times pi, I end up getting about 15.8. So the perimeter is 15.8 meters. Okay, and that's how you deal with composite figures. All right, let me know if you have any questions. I hope you have a great day.